Hello, my name is Starlight. Welcome to my YouTube channel, and I'm reaching out to all of you beautiful souls out there. I hope you're able to get out in nature like Starlight is right now. And anyway, it is so important to really let your loved ones know how much you love them. Not just during Christmas or birthdays or Valentine's Day. No, tell them every day, your children, your husband, your wife, your family, let them know, the ones that are close to you, your friends that you have that are, real friends. Yes, let them know that you care about them, and action speaks louder than words, so prove it. Show them how much you love them by proving that. So anyway, if you are new to my YouTube channel, welcome, and you can find me on YouTube, and that is at Starlight, and that is Kathy with a K Dingman. Plus, you could give this video a thumbs up, and you could subscribe to my YouTube channel. Plus, don't forget, you can leave me a message down below, beep, 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 and you can share my videos with your family, your friends, a cat, a dog, and don't forget the notification bell, ding, ding, ding. And you can also check out my playlist. Plus, you can find me on Instagram at 1995 Starlight, or on Facebook, and that is Kathy with a K Dingman Starlight. So anyway, today I really just want to help people out there that are in relationships that could be struggling. And so Starlight's got some tips for people that are, they love the person that they're with, and they're just, frustrated. And I made a video just not too long ago, well, actually yesterday, but I uploaded it today. So this is going to be similar, is things that you can do to improve the relationship that you're already in. And I have to say, the number one thing that comes to mind is communication. I cannot stress that enough. Communications, is nobody can, well, there's people that can read minds, but sometimes, when it comes to relationships, people get busy and they get stuff on their minds. They got work to do, they got this and that to do. And, so they might be so focused on what they're doing, not really thinking too much of what is going on with their partner, whether you're married or not. So communication is the key in any relationship. And when I say communication, is that women and men, we all have areas that we can strengthen as far as communication goes. And all of us are different. We all come from different backgrounds. So some people might be very expressive, but how do you express yourself? How do you communicate? Some people yell and scream when they communicate, and then other people have a hard time getting words to come out of their mouth. They are afraid to say what's on their heart and mind. So it is so important that you really figure out what is the problem in what you want to discuss. Think about what you want to say before you say it. Even if you have to write it down, and and then kind of practice in a mirror and act like you're talking to that person, because communication is key to any relationship, and you need to practice in the mirror if you have a hard time communicating to that loved one and expressing how you feel depending on what's going on, is to look in the mirror at yourself. And it sounds silly, but my brother that's no longer here, he taught me some stuff, and it really helped me out. So looking in the mirror at yourself and, pretending that person is there, and let them know how you feel and how they make you feel. Because if you really love that person and you want to be with them, is that you got to express yourself. You can't hold it in, and because you don't want like a little anthill turn into a mountain, right? And that is what a lot of couples do, is they don't communicate, or they don't know how to communicate. They're afraid to communicate. And that is one of my tips there as far as communication goes, is it takes two people, not just one. And if you're going to communicate with a loved one, make sure not only you practice on what you want to say to that loved one, is also there's another side to this coin, is to be a good listener. When they are communicating with you, whether you're the one listening or you're the one speaking, no matter what, when you are communicating with a loved one, is make sure that you're listening to every word. That means put your phone down. That means to don't be watching TV while you're communicating, is to really have all your focus on what they are telling you. That way, later on throughout the week, you're not going to have a problem because you were listening to every word they were saying. And that is a great time to actually, communicate and say, I heard what you said. I was listening, but I'm confused. I don't understand. And don't be afraid that you don't understand what they're communicating. Maybe they're nervous just like you, and maybe they're having a hard time expressing how they feel. So don't let that, when you don't understand what they are talking about, is don't let fear stop you, but open up and express and say, I'm sorry, but I don't quite understand what you're telling me, because that, again, is going to cause problems down the road. And when it comes to communications, this is a lot, really. These days, Starlight, when she's using her phone, she's not goofing around on her phone. It's all, my TikTok, not TikTok, but it's about my YouTube channel. I just said TikTok because I'm trying to figure out how to send my videos to TikTok. But Starlight doesn't waste her time and energy on TikTok. I do put, now I'm just trying to figure out how to edit those, videos of inspiration and, tips to help people on TikTok. But, when it comes to communications, is that you got to be focused on that person. And so many people, I go around in public everywhere, and here I'm actually working on my phone, editing a video. Maybe I'm using Wi-Fi at McDonald's, and I see people different ages that are, in McDonald's eating and using their phone at the same time. So this is a big, huge problem in relationships, is that we need to really let go of those devices when we're really dealing, and it shouldn't be just when we have complications in a relationship. A lot of people do need to lighten up on their use of using their phones, and Starlight is in a situation right now where, to be a YouTube creator, I have to use my phone. So I'm a different case. But the other thing is, like I mentioned in the other video, is spend time together with that one that you love, and you got to make sure, are you both on the same page? Are you both going in the same direction? Because there's a lot of relationships out there, they're not going in the same direction. One is working on themselves and the other one don't care. They don't care about working themselves. They don't want to eat healthy. They don't want to get exercise. They're going in a different direction, where you might be going up, working on yourself. And if you got somebody that's going somewhere else, you got to communicate and say, things are not working, because I want to grow, and by living with you is actually making it hard for me to grow and expand, because I see that you're still where you were 5 years ago, and I'm growing, and that means you're growing apart from each other. So it's so important to make sure, number one, if you are in a relationship, be honest. There's an inner voice inside of you, a small, still voice inside of you that really will let you know whether you're happy or not. Are you happy with that person? Are they willing to work with you in the relationship? Or they might not want to grow. They might not want to change, So those are the ones that you have to decide on, if you are going to stay with them or let them go. Because if they're really not growing with you, you are growing apart. And so that is one thing. You've got to be honest. And this is the thing with a lot of people when it comes to relationships, is people love, I love you. I love you. I love you. I love my mom. I love my dad. I love my daughter. I love my sister. I love my brother. I love my son. I love my grandsons. I love my friend. Love, 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 love. Well, you know what? It's great that you love that person. just because you love that person, it doesn't mean that that person is good for you as far as relationship goes. So, like, you might love them more like a friend than a relationship. So if it's been, where your relationship is not really working out the way you were hoping because you're growing and they're not, and you love them but you don't want to let them go, this is a big huge problem in relationships, where it's like, I don't want to hurt them, I love that person, but how about your life? Are you happy in that relationship? No, I'm not happy, but I love that person, I don't want to hurt that person. And it's not about hurting that person, it's actually about growing. And that is why we're here. We're here to grow, we're here to learn, we're here to raise the bar, and we're here to to learn who we are and why we're here in the first place. And if they're tripping you up and pulling you down and distracting you and pulling you away from growing, then you might have to let them go and say, what, this is not working. I realize that, what, I love you, but I really don't have those feelings anymore like I once did, and I see you more like a friend now, and that's okay. I've ended a lot of relationships where things were not going good, and you know what, it's good if you can end in a healthy way by ending and saying, what, this isn't working, really. I realize that I love you, but not that way anymore, and this is not really working out. So you might have to end those relationships, and it's, you're hurting them more by not being honest with yourself that it's not working. Ouch. It's not working. The relationship is not working by not being real with them and telling them the truth that this is not working. You're not helping them. So real love is really saying, what, I love you, but this is not working, I gotta let you go. They need that. They need to realize that you're in the wrong relationship with them. And the other thing that I mentioned that I want to mention again on this video is, spending time together is so vitally important, where a lot of people, they get so distracted in life, and what are they doing? They're on their cell phones everywhere, they're on their, I wish I had some people out here, on some cell phones, but they're sitting together at a restaurant, or, a fancy restaurant, and, they're waiting for the waiter or the waitress to come to the, the table to wait on them. And what is the couple doing? They're on their cell phones. Doing what? I don't know. What are they doing? That is rude. And I knew somebody that had a cat named Rudy, but that is rude. That is very rude. If you can't put your phone down and you're going out to dinner, right? Put the phone down. Put your phone in your pocketbook. Leave the phone in the car. Lock the car up or whatever. They did have this thing that they wanted to do at a restaurant, and I thought, that's crazy. I wouldn't want to do it. I'd rather leave my phone in my pocketbook. I can control myself and go to dinner and not look at my phone. Oh, I gotta look at my phone. It doesn't make you an important person. It doesn't make you more of an adult because you can stare at your phone out in public somewhere. It doesn't make you intelligent. It doesn't do any of that stuff. It's a very rude behavior to go with somebody and spend your whole time on your cell phone. And I have to say, when I used to visit my family, when I was at my family's house, unless there was something that I really needed to do, that was a different story. But really, I was like, ooh, put my phone away. There's times I had to get a hold of my brother because I had to go pick him up. So, but it's a very rude behavior is to use your cell phone when you go visit your parents, and the whole time while you're at their house, and you wonder why you have this disconnection with your family members is because your time is, you're not putting your time with your family when you're together with them. And, you could be a great example to your children as they are watching you with cell phones. Teach your children, what? We're at the dinner table. No cell phones, no TV on. it's all right to have like, like maybe some piano music or some 432 hertz music while you're eating dinner together with the family. But, I don't know about dancing music. Starlight might want to get off off her seat and start dancing, but I'm just kidding. But yeah, families should, to stay together, they got to be together. And, if you're not spending quality time and you're just too busy, and a lot of people do that, they get busy so they don't have to spend time with you. It might be too much, where it's like, oh man, what did I get myself into? I get out of work, and I want my peace and quiet, and now I got the kids running around the house and the wife is yelling at the kids. And well, you should have thought of that before you made babies. You should have protected yourself, and she should have, So that's why it's so important to make sure the person that you're getting with, find out, hey, if you, think of all the things, what you enjoy before you get with that lady or that man, and like, are you willing to give those all up to have kids? If you're not, don't have kids. And I know I could turn my face, talk until my face turns purple. You're going to do whatever you want to do, but you got to really be wise when it comes to having a family, So eating together is so important as a couple, not just when you have kids. It's so important that couples eat together. Don't, like one shouldn't be in the kitchen at the table and the other one in the bedroom or in the office area, eating dinner separately. Do you think that's going to really make your relationship last longer? Is because you're eating separately, you're not even enjoying each other's company. And, so the other thing is about ignoring each other. Are you giving each other the silent treatment? And that's what Starlight used to do, is give the silent treatment. But it's better to be silent than to say rude things to the one that you're with, or to use your frustration and say something that you're going to regret later. But Starlight, eventually, you know what? Silence is better than, hurting somebody with your words. But it is better to actually say, you know what, I can't hold this any longer. I gotta communicate. So you don't want to ignore those people. You don't want to silence them out by not speaking and not saying what's on your heart and mind, and just be mindful of the time. Sometimes there's never a good time to talk about stuff when it comes to couples. So that's why you got to make the time. And even if you got to set an arrangement and let them know ahead of time, get them ready for it and say, you know what, we really need to talk. That way then they can get prepared and ready to, to face whatever it is that you need to discuss with them. So that way then you don't want to shock them and scare the heck out of them by, out of the blue, just like pouring everything out on them. So this way they can get adjusted to, okay, we're gonna have an adult conversation now. Okay, and then if you are that person that they're saying, hey, we need to talk about stuff, is maybe you got stuff on your mind and heart that you want to discuss. So that would be a great opportunity, when somebody needs to talk about something, is for both of you to not all rushing, to get it out of your body, out of your mouth, but to say, hey, why we're here talking, I got some stuff, why we're here, let's just, get whatever it is, because you need that. You need, like families ought to have like a family meeting every so often, is when things are, and, I want to say the husband, if there's a husband or the man of the house, that somebody's got to say, you know what, we need to have a family meeting. We need to have a discussion. So many times out of a year, you should get together with your family and, tighten things up. Make sure your kids are protected. Make sure, everybody's safe. Make sure, that when things are slipping and sliding, hopefully the one that's supposed to, I know there's a lot of people that don't agree with this, but, there's got to be somebody that really is the head of the house, because, somebody's got to kind of be in charge a little bit on this, is to say, you know what, we haven't had a family meeting in a while, and it's a good thing, and write down this stuff on a paper, the list of things that you want to discuss to the family. That way throughout the week, when you got more things that you want to talk to your family about, you can, oh yeah, that's another thing to add to the list. This is what I'm noticing that I don't like, I'm seeing, and I need to speak up and talk to my family, because we need to, I love my family. I want to spend the rest of our lives together. So we need to, like to buckle up and, let go of some things in the family, that people could be doing wrong in the household. Maybe the kids are acting a certain way and you notice it. Maybe, all kinds of stuff. So these are tips for, I guess, family. I was going to only stick with couples, but I really hope you get a lot of help. And I love these topics because there's so many things that I've learned or seen, or witnessed or whatever. So it is good to really, really make sure you spend time with your loved ones. Communication, saying what's on your heart and mind as soon as possible. You really don't want to go to bed angry is the thing, is that you need to make time throughout the day and say, you know what, make sure the guy and the lady has eaten their dinner. Talk after. Make sure the kids are to bed, and then that would be a great time to communicate if you have children. But anyway, I love you so much. Is really the ones that belong together, you need to work on your relationship. You always gotta, like pull back and say, you know what, we've been acting a little childish here and there, and we need to just work on our relationship. That way you can be with that person, possibly the rest of your life. Wouldn't that be great if you work on the relationship that you're in right now, instead of having to, start all over again, So anyway, I love you so much. This is Starlight. You could give this video a thumbs up. You could subscribe to my YouTube channel. Plus, you can leave me a message down below, beep, beep, beep. And you could share my videos with your family, your friends, a bird and a raccoon. And also you could check out my playlist and find me on Instagram at 1995 Starlight, or on Facebook, and that is Kathy with a K, Ding the Starlight. I love you all, and really, communication is the key. So make sure, you're communicating with those ones, and it doesn't have to be just with your the guy or girl that you're with, your children, your family, any problem that you have. Communication is the key. I love you so much. This is Starlight. Namaste. This is Starlight, love, light, and peace.